Daniel, what do people want from a Bond film, do you think?
Lots of things, I suppose. They want they want kind of some of the old stuff, I suppose. They want some of the things that make it a Bond movie, and hopefully they want a good storyline, which is really kind of where we start the whole process.
Now, I asked my hubby, who's a Yorkshireman, I said, what would you ask Daniel if you had the chance? And he said, if you got all the people that have played James Bond in a room, what would be the conversation? What would they chat about, do you think? So
They'd
I'm
just
asking.
bitch about each other. I don't know what they'd say. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. God, I mean, and God forbid it should ever happen. I'm sure that would be the last thing that any of us would really want. We'd avoid it at all costs.
But you have had interactions with Sean Connery, am I right? You've had a chat with when you first got the role?
Piers, I spoke to. Roger, I know. That's about it, really.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I was misinformed. I thought you'd had a chat with Sean.
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, okay. Now, I've heard that Roger actually has said in the latest Vanity Fair...
Said very lovely things.
Lovely?
Lovely
wow,
things.
Wow, you are the Bond. How does it make you feel?
Very nice. Of course it does. It's it's a very nice thing of him to say, and he's one. I grew up watching him, so I've got a very I've been a big fan of his. So
that's nice. Now, is it a 5-film deal to play Bond? Is that right? You've done your third. At what point do you?
Go on. Yes,
yeah,
go on.
Am I right?
Kind of. Yes, I've got 2 more to do, maybe.
Yeah. So, at what point do you start maybe the mental preparation of I'm going to have to hand over this role at some point? Is that going to be
when I did the first one?
Really?
Yes.
Why? Tell me what you were thinking.
I don't really think about it. I mean, it's an inevitability. So I just, it's not something I kind of give a huge amount of thought to. I mean, I'm sure when it happens, it'll be sad, but it'll also be, I'll have to move on in life. So,
what sort of qualities do you think that the next Bond will need? Or
a big pair of balls.
Not unlike yourself.
Well, I'm just trying to grow a pair. Just to get it right. I mean, it's a great thing to do. It changes your life, and you kind of have to make a sort of huge commitment to it, and it's a lot of fun. So that's the thing to kind of remember. It is a lot of fun.
You're saying it changes your life. Have you grown accustomed to the celebrity that is attached to having such a high profile?
Have I grown attached to it?
No, have you grown accustomed to it?
I don't think you can ever do that. I don't think I think it's too. It's not real. So, I don't think how you could ever kind of be kind of. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's such a sort of a strange thing. I think as soon as you sort of make that kind of what your life's about, things go horribly wrong.
Yeah. So I do get a sense that you've enjoyed keeping your private life private because that is 2 separate worlds.
It has to be, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Very important to you.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Now I noticed in the production notes they included some fun facts. How much ammo was used and all that sort of stuff. Do you have anything that you can?
I'm glad someone was counting. But I suppose someone has to pay for it, so they have to count.
But anything sort of fun that you can give us an insight? I mean, what's it like on set? I mean, how crazy does it get? How fun is it? All the stunts? I mean, can you paint a picture for us?
It would be difficult to paint a picture because the whole shooting process takes about 8 months. I mean, the opening credit sequence, which lasts about 10 minutes, took 3 months to shoot, of a month of which I was involved with. So it depends what we're doing. I mean, there's amazing days when you're working. The biggest thrill I get is I walk on set and there are Oscar winners and there are the talent and people who are there all trying to make the best film they can. And when you're kind of with those kind of people, you get inspired. And we laugh a lot. And when we get the chance, we party. But I mean, there's not, it's mainly, it's usually a 6-7 day week, depending on kind of what's happening. And so you kind of you're living and breathing it for the time you're doing it.
I love watching the mutual respect between Em and Bond, obviously, in the film. Can I ask, I mean, in your world, who do you respect, admire?
In my world?
Yeah, in your other world.
In my private world?
Yeah.
No, of course not, no.
No, but who's inspired you? Like, who?
There are lots of people. I've been lucky to be inspired by quite a few people. I mean, it's important when you're growing up and when you kind of, if you're lucky enough to have sort of people who take an interest in you, it's, and it's always kind of good to pass that on if you can. But I wouldn't want to talk about it. It's kind of private.
Yeah, that's okay. Can I ask, on behalf of also hubby and a few other blokes, how do they get your abs? How do they get that look?
How do they get my abs? They don't get them.
Not your
no, they don't get
ones.
them. I get them.
You
I
get them.
I get my
But
abs.
how do you work towards that?
Every day, I work out every day. I mean, there's the scenes where I have to take my shirt off. They're calendared, so I know when it is. Otherwise, I mean, because it's impossible. You can't, and you can't stay in that kind of shape for 8 months. It's like it's not healthy. So so I because you have to kind of cut down on things like carbohydrates, which you need to exist.
Yeah.
So I kind of cut down for a week before I do that scene, and then after it, I'm back on the beer and the bread.
Wonderful. So is it a little bit more difficult as I know you're very young, but as you're getting older, is it a bit more hard to get back in shape, or?
I wasn't particularly. No, I just it's a different type of exercise I do now, though, because I have to do a lot of running in this film. So I'm just I don't pump large amounts of weight. I mean, I just don't do it anymore because it's not it's not good to do as you grow older, I don't think. And so I just try and get as physically fit as I can because to endure the filming process.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the chat.
That's all right.
Talking Melbourne.